Well, guys, I picked up another box fan. This is a Fasco model number D2060. This is a very nice fan. It features a built-in thermostat, 3-speed blade speed, and a reversible motor. This is not the original switch. It has been replaced at some point. I'll go over that in a little bit. Nor is this the original cord. I actually put this cord on. The one that was on there was a bit flaky. But it had the original plug on it, original cord. Worked very poorly. And it was getting brittle. So, I've already gone through and cleaned this one up. I had nothing to do today. It's a holiday weekend, and I have tomorrow off work. It's Monday, Memorial Day. Woohoo! And it's going to be raining the whole day. So, it's one of those weekends. 3-day weekends. Probably sit on the couch, lay down, and watch The Simpsons reruns for hours on end. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Maybe I'll get around to playing that PlayStation that I got. Who knows? Anyway. So I don't consider myself a fan collector. I actually just buy appliances. I buy them and I acquire them as needed. I'm not one of those people who goes out and acquires things just for the sake of having things, or for collector reasons. If you want to, see what a real fan collector does, check out Emerson Colley or Spatspare, or Spatspare 2, I think is his other name. They do actual fan collecting. There's also quite a few other people out there on YouTube land that collect fans, and they know more about them than I do. I know how to keep them running, and I know what to look for when I'm buying an old fan. This one is actually given to me. A gentleman that I've known since I was 6 years old. He's in the metal scrapping business, and he comes across things like this all the time. Somebody threw this away, just like garbage, and probably replaced it with a cheap plastic box fan from Walmart or something. People do that shit all the time. They don't realize that what they're getting rid of is better than anything they'll ever be able to buy again. So let's get to the root of why I don't collect, but why I own these old fans. Because they work, and they'll work forever. This one right here, this Vortelex is from I think I dated it back to 1941. And this sucker moves a ton of air with little effort. And with just a little bit of restoration work, I got her going just like she did when she was brand new. Looking good too. And it didn't cost a lot of money to fix. And this thing will be with me for the rest of my life. The thing is, when you buy an antique fan to use on a daily basis, you're buying an appliance for life. If they're in good condition and they're maintained, they will run forever. This one is almost 70 years old, and the sucker still works, perfectly fine. The one that I use every day, day in, day out, is that relatively rare Robbins-Myers stand fan. Needs a restoration. I stupidly painted it metallic red, thinking, what the hell, why not? And I'm not happy with the way the paint finish came out. I'm going to be stripping it down to bare metal and doing it all over again. That's the 1938, I think, Robbins-Myers. And that thing right there needs a new switch, maybe some oil, but that's all it needs, and it'll run forever. It'll never fail. It'll never be dead. It'll never wind up in a junkyard as long as I'm alive. And the one I have upstairs is a 1966 Lakewood box fan. Similar design to this one, but a little bit newer. Might as well just show it to you. This is my Lakewood. This is a 66 Lakewood. And on cooler nights when I'm sleeping upstairs, I'll have this thing cranking. This is a fan that I got 6 years ago, maybe. And every year it gets cleaned and oiled. And never lets me down. It's got a nice push button switch. I love this. This is a Lakewood thing. I don't think anybody else did it like this, but anyway. This is a great little fan. Very simple design, very well made, very heavy. Will probably last another 50 years. I mean, it's already 50 years old. It'll probably go another 50. You know, this Victor fan, this is a Victor Junior that I declared a total loss before actually restoring it. And I got this working. This was one that I was really shocked that I could get it going at all. This is one that sat outside for many years. It was rusted solid, and I figured there's no way in hell it's ever going to run again. But I was wrong. I managed to fix it, and I gave it a nice, it's getting kind of dusty now, but it actually has a two-tone paint finish on it. I used a gloss black on the motor housing, a matte black on the blade guard, and a matte black on the base. Still oscillates too. I sourced out this pretty cool retro cloth wrapped cord. I love this cord. Gives it some character. I found that. I found a company that actually sells it by the foot, and this is one of my favorite restorations that I've ever done. I've had other much nicer fans over the years, but I sold them to make a profit. I actually had a beautiful 1918 GE, a loop handle, and I sold it for, well, 300 times what I paid for it. I paid nothing for it. I sold it, well, actually no, it's infinite times over because I paid nothing for it, but I probably put about 20 bucks into it, and I got $350 out of it, so, whatever. But my point is, I'm not a collector. I'm not a collector, I am a user. I buy these things because they work better than anything you can buy today. They're quieter, they're more efficient, and they will last forever. So this Fasco, when it was offered to me for the price of $0.00, I quickly said, yes, I'll take it. I'm actually going to take this fan to work. I have a pressing need for a good box fan at work, and it's between this one and the Lakewood. I'm going to keep the Lakewood here because it's really just a good, reliable, simple fan. This one here has got a lot of good features on it. It's reversible. It's got a thermostat. I don't care about all that. But yeah, it's also older than the Lakewood. I was kind of shocked to find out how old this fan really is. But if my research is correct, this fan is as old as 1953, but not any newer than 1955. It kind of surprised me. It doesn't look to be something that's that old. You know, it's 60 years old. I wouldn't have thought that. It just doesn't strike me as something that was made that long ago. I'm thinking mid-60s. But according to some of the history I read on Fasco products, now Fasco is a shortened version of F.A. Smith Co. And they were based out of Rochester, New York. But I heard that in 1955 they moved their fan division to, their fan manufacturing division to, I believe, North Carolina. And this one clearly states Rochester, New York. Now, whether that's the company headquarters, I don't know. But it does have the old Fasco logo, which seems to predate the 1960s. So this one's it's pretty old. One of the reasons I like the Lakewood fan is because the grill is removable without any tools. So for cleaning and maintenance, all you have to do on the Lakewood is actually unclip it from the bottom, and then it unhooks from the top. The Fasco design, you have to slightly raise and pull forward, and the grill comes down. It locks into those little hooks in the bottom, which are screwed in place. On the Lakewood, they're actually slid into welded slot-tight devices. Let me put the camera down, and I'm going to just lift these up and remove the grill so you can get a better look inside. Now this fan has all of its original paint. I like to get them this way because they haven't really been messed with at this point. This is the original finish. I was actually able to bring back the paint finish with some steel wool and WD-40. I use quadruple zero steel wool, This is a method of restoring paint finishes that I found effective when I was, I think I was about 15 years old, and somebody gave me a lime green Fuji 10-speed bicycle. And it was in great condition, but the paint was all blackened. It had like just buildup of whatever all over it. The entire bike looked like hell. It was like a blackened, brownish, just sort of patina, I guess. So I cleaned it off, clearly by accident. I was actually doing something to it, and I noticed that if I took steel wool in WD-40 and lightly buffed the paint, it took it right down to a nice finish. Now this thing, I didn't film any of this, but the blades were all spotted with old oil deposits and dust and dirt, and they were really gross, and it wasn't coming off. It was like dried on there. So I used my WD-40 and quadruple zero steel wool method, and I was able to buff them right down to a nice shine. Now this was never a high gloss paint to begin with. This is like a single stage paint. Unlike the Lakewood, this one has painted blades. The Lakewood uses bare aluminum. And I love the blade design on this. This is a really nice looking center hub. I just like the way they did that. It just has a very mechanical, very purposeful appearance to it. It even has what appears to be a vibration isolator in the hub. It appears that the center hub is actually rubber mounted. Similar to some of the GE desk fans that I've come across. On the other side, you have, oh yeah, the other thing is, to further strengthen the box structure, they have this nice welded insert that goes all the way around the middle section of the box. It also serves as an air guide, so it has a little bit less buffeting than the Lakewood would have. The Lakewood, as you saw, was a nice open construction. This would help direct the airflow to a much more streamlined column of air. And the other thing about the Fasco, now this could be just because it's an early model fan, but I'm going to show you how the motor is mounted. It's a little bit different. Okay, it's heavy too. You know, with all that extra internal bracing and the thick steel construction, this thing is very heavy. That and the blades, rather than being made of aluminum, they're made of steel. So everything weighs more on this fan than it would on the Lakewood. But the bracing for the fan motor itself is a little bit. This is very thick steel, and it's welded horizontally. Now, on the Lakewood fans, and anything made after this one, it seems, the bracing is always vertical, and not as thick steel as this one. So this could also contribute to better vibration absorption, so a quieter design, but it also makes for a very strong fan. The motor isn't as powerful, it seems, as the Lakewood motor. That Lakewood that I just showed you, it seems to push more air. So let's turn it on. I'm going to put it on the air intake mode. We'll start it on high. Let's put it on low. I had the thermostat on. Vibrating my toaster. Some of that thing spin up. Okay, let's crank it up to medium. coast down a little bit. This also coasts down pretty well because of its massiveness and the amount of weight. It does a nice coast down. I'll let it stop for a sec here. Here we go. Thermostat does still work. If I raise the temperature up, it shuts down. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that back cover off so I can show you what it looks like inside the electrical box. I'll show you how I know that the switch has been replaced. When I had it apart to replace the cord, I discovered some minor issues that I had to address immediately. Which is why I want to bring that up too. When you're acquiring old things like this, it's always a smart idea to check them out and make sure everything is kosher. In the case of this one here, it wasn't. There were some improper repairs done to the wiring that I had to address, and unfortunately I don't have anything to prove that to show you guys, but just trust me on this one. It was unsafe. Wrong connectors used, a power cord that didn't look so bad at first until you start moving it around and you realize that there's a real problem. Stuff like that. One of the things I don't want to see when I'm working on something like this is the use of electrical tape. There are two substances that I don't allow on anything I repair. Well, electrical tape is something that I will in some rare instance I will use. But one of the things I don't allow on my repairs is duct tape. But no, there was a lot of electrical tape used in here. I don't want to see that. There's always better ways. Crimp-on connectors, for one, is a good way to eliminate electrical tape, but also the use of shrink tubing and solder. In this case, I decided to use crimp-on connectors for the power cord replacement. They seem to work just fine. But right here on the top we have our bimetallic switch. This is how that thermostat really works. So that reed in the middle that you see, let me see if I can get the lighting on here a little better. So as I change the temperature, you'll see that it moves a set of reed switches right there. This is unplugged, right? Yeah, okay. Right here we have a bimetallic reed, and what it does is as it heats up and cools off, it actually changes shape or changes its position, just like a wall thermostat works on in a house. That's all. It's real simple stuff. But that's how that works. Now this switch down here, this is the original one. I want to point out that this fan still has cloth wiring. This is how I can tell for certain that it is definitely older than the 1960s. We have a lot of cloth. It's all cloth wiring inside. The original power cord was rubber, but it had all cloth wiring inside, and it all still remains and is in really good condition. One thing that did make me a little nervous was the sheathing around the main cord going to the motor. As you can clearly see, it is caked in oil. That kind of concerns me, but it also reminds me of why they used that in the first place. Because in the 1960s, in the 1950s I should say, they hadn't really perfected rubber wiring. So a lot of that rubber wiring was not yet oil resistant that they had. I mean, it took a few years for that to really happen. So to be safe, many companies still used the cloth wrapped wire because it just worked. It was oil resistant to a point, and it just got the job done. You know, no other reason than that. And it's not like it was visible from the outside, so they didn't have to worry about any mechanical chafing or any other damage. They just used what worked. And in the 1950s, it was kind of a transition period. Even my Vortelex, which was made in the 1940s, had a rubber power cord. But the wiring going to the motor, which is still all intact, was still cloth. So, I just found some more dust I want to kind of get rid of, clean it up a little better. The areas I couldn't get to with that box installed. But you can see again, all the wiring is still in perfect condition. Although again, that wiring is very, very, very caked in motor and in oil. So if this thing were to malfunction, it would go up like the Hindenburg. Let's just hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, it's just how they put them together back then, and it all works. Everything works just fine. You know, this is me. I did that. This is original. This is me. This is the previous owner installed this switch. It has a middle position. Now, one thing I don't know of, and I should probably read more about this, but how AC motors are reversed. I don't know how that's done. I have to be honest. So somehow this thing can be reversed, and I don't know how that works. I know how a DC motor can be reversed, but I'm not so sure about an AC motor. I know it can be done. Obviously, there's proof. But I also don't know what the wiring is all about. So one thing I've noticed is if I hit the reverse switch while it's running at full speed, nothing happens. It doesn't change direction. I know there's a reason for that, but I'm not sure what that reason is. If I put it in the middle position, no matter what, the rotor locks up. I mean, it just kind of goes like that, and nothing happens. So I don't know if it's a wiring issue or if they screwed it up or what. I know that's not the original switch. It's not the original kind of switch. It would have been a 2-position. So I'm not sure what was done here. I haven't taken out a multimeter to really test it. I know how a multi-speed motor works. You've got, you know, sometimes 2, 3 different coils in there, and as you energize additional coils, you know, the thing spins faster and faster as more power or more energy is applied to it. So on a 3-speed motor, you're going to have 4 wires: your common, high, medium, and low. And that seems to be true here. So your common, where's our speed switch? There it is. So you've got your common going in, which is this thick black wire, and then your common going out. Then your high, medium, and where's low? I only see 1, 2, 3 wires. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I get how that works. So it's energized. So there's one lead. Where's the other one? It should be coming into... goes directly into the motor. So yeah, there's your common going in, and then your high, medium, and low. So that's what the three others are for. So that's how all AC motors seem to work. I wanted to get a good look underneath this handle here. See what that original paint color looked like. Kind of clean this off as best I can. No, pretty much hasn't discolored at all. Oh, looks pretty good. Yeah. Still don't know what that squawking noise was. Alright, so here's the handle. This is pretty typical. It's basically a rubber rubber handle that's been, it's got a steel spring, or a piece of spring steel inside of it. And it's been wrapped in duct tape for reasons that we're going to find out in a minute. I'm going to get some scissors and we're going to cut the duct tape off. I have an idea as to what I'm going to do to protect it though. Once I get this off, we get to see how badly damaged it is. But these handles almost never lasted forever. I mean, the rubber would age and it would crack. Yeah, that's what happened here. But it really isn't all that bad. You can see the steel inside there. What can we do for this? Well, the hard part is going to be to get this adhesive off from the duct tape. That's going to be the hard part. I think I found the problem. I mean, found the solution. We're going to take some shrink tube. Now, I bought this stuff at Harbor Freight for, I don't know, $1. It's nice, wide, marine grade shrink tubing. Is it marine grade? No, it's not. It doesn't have any adhesive on the inside or sealant. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a section of this off. And we're going to sleeve the entire handle in this stuff. It's still there, it's still solid, it's still in good shape. It just needs a little bit of your love and care. So I'm going to slide the entire handle into my shrink tube pouch. And then we're going to get some heat to it. I'm going to have to heat it up. So I got to get my my heat gun, and we're going to see how that works. All right, here we go. It's not beautiful, but better than it was. I was hoping it would shrink a little bit better and contour to some of those lines, but that didn't really work out that way. What I'm probably going to do is put another coat if it fits. Let's see if it fits. Because it has to still fit into the handle, which it does. I think that's enough. So now we have to cut slots for the screw holes. So let's do that. I'm going to get a knife. Alright, I got a utility knife here. There's that. Just cut the ends off. And I'm just going to cut a slice for the so that the screws can slide in and out. Just like that. Now I made sure to put the print side down so that you don't see that when you're handling the box fan. And I'm going to clean this up too. This is painted steel, so that needs to be cleaned up too. You can still see where the chunk is missing, but honestly, it's a work fan. So, but it still retains the ability for the handle to flex in and out. That has not been compromised, and I think it works out just fine. You can. So there's a quick, easy way to save the handle on your old fan. And you can get this stuff in any color. You have to custom order it, but heat shrink tubing comes in a variety of colors: red, pink, blue, green, and white. I know I've seen it in white. And there's your solution. You can even get it in clear. So there's that too. I have seen clear shrink tubing. So, all right, well, that concludes our broadcast day.